Hello traders, good afternoon. My name is Tomasz Wiśniewski and I'm a Chief Analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and welcome to a daily analytical report with Alpari. This week, as we mentioned yesterday, wasn't very busy in terms of the macro data. Actually, the biggest event was yesterday, and this event didn't bring anything significant. That was FOMC minutes. What they said is that it would be quite nice to lift rates fairly soon. But at the same time, if the data from the job market will be steadily going up. But at the same time, they highlighted possible danger from the Donald Trump policy. They mentioned uncertainty with fiscal stimulus that he's planning. So that is why FOMC minute failed to lift American dollar. Obviously, it didn't change much on stocks, as stocks are still advancing higher. Where good news is great news, bad news is great news as well. So for stock traders, there is actually no change, and I don't think they are looking at the fundamentals at all, because they're just buying, right? And we'll see how long it will last. Just now, probably Mr. Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary in the United States, will start his speech. And everybody's looking for some hints about this fiscal stimulus tax scheme that Donald Trump was talking about 2 weeks ago. We will see if we will get any details about that. If not today, maybe next week, because Donald Trump has a speech next week, so maybe he will address details about this phenomenal tax scheme that he was talking about. Let me show you macro calendar, and here, as you can see, Treasury Secretary Mr. Mnuchin has his speech right now. Apart from that, what we do have is FOMC member Mr. Kaplan speech, and that would be it. Well, we do have EIA crude oil stocks change that can be influential, but obviously that can be influential on the price of the oil. For tomorrow, calendar is rather empty, but remember about CPI from Canada, data from housing markets from United States, and that's pretty much it. So for today, everybody's waiting for Mr. Mnuchin. Just before the data, we can see that American dollar was a little bit weaker. Especially you can see that here on cable. So let me start with cable right now, describing the current situation from the technical point of view. Alright, so what do we have from the technical point of view? Here is a symmetric triangle on cable, and the volatility decreases significantly, 360 pips, then a swing for 200 pips, 130, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, yesterday we had a breakout attempt, bullish breakout attempt, marked with an orange color, but this breakout was unsuccessful, right? Breakout was unsuccessful. The price fell down inside the triangle. As you can see, the volatility during the FOMC minutes was limited. 48 pips for British pound to American dollar. 48 pips for the cable is a really low value, but as I told you, they failed to deliver any significant information for the market participants. Actually, when talking about possibilities, about probabilities of a rate hike in March, yesterday it was 36%, and today is 34%. So you can see that it's going down. It went down overnight, so that is why American dollar is a bit weaker today. Chance for a rate hike in May is 62% right now, and it was 59% the day before. So the chances for May went up. As you can see on British pound to American dollar, we are having a nice upswing for the last 45 minutes. The price just made a new daily highs, and it looks like we're trying to break this resistance again. The closest short-term support is here. Well, you don't see me going on those low time frames too often, so maybe let's stay on H1, and we can see that they're trying to go higher. If only technicals would matter, and the price would go down here because of the false breakout. But everybody's wondering what Mr. Mnuchin will say, what plan he will reveal, if he will do that. So we can expect a higher volatility on the market. If he won't tell anything, most probably we'll have a bigger reaction north here. Because, well, in my opinion, on stocks are driven by expectations that we'll have a stimulus. Well, currently also stocks are driven by enormous greed. For me, it's a normal bubble. But if you could explain that somehow, you can explain that traders are expecting a great stimulus package from Donald Trump and his administration. That is why they are buying stocks. If American administration won't deliver any significant stimulus in the next, let's say, month, this upswing can easily fade. Okay, that's the situation on cable. Technically, the price should go down, but the price is now advancing higher. If they will be they will manage to hold the price above 1.2480, which is the closest resistance, and we are fighting for this resistance right now. If they will be able to hold the price above this horizontal resistance, using it as a closest support, that will be a definite buy signal here. Maybe not the strongest buy signal I can imagine, but still a positive one. On euro dollar, you know that I spotted this inverted head and shoulder formation, inverse head and shoulder formation here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and at the end of last week they failed to go up here, which created a chance for a bearish continuation, and the price is advancing lower, right? But the price is locked in a wedge. Wedge is a hope for buyers, right? Because it's a normal correction of this upswing. So there's still a hope for them. What is more, they came back above this line connecting the bottom of the head and the bottom of the right shoulder, right? And they came back with this formation. It's a hammer on a daily chart. Here it's also a double bottom formation. So this can be considered as a false breakout. It's a legitimate false breakout. I won't say no. And what false breakouts do, they lead to the movement in the opposite direction. So technically we should see an upswing here. We do have a false breakout, we do have a wedge pattern, we do have we do have a hammer on the daily chart. So it looks bullish, but to be honest with you, I'm not so convinced with the situation here. In my view on euro dollar, the biggest signal here will be failed attempt to leave the price higher after this hammer and this positive candlestick. So in my opinion, the signal was created here when they failed to climb any higher, and in my opinion we should still be under influence of this signal. When the price will manage to break this resistance, okay, fair enough, I will be able to tell you that the sentiment now is positive. But as long as we stay below the lower line of the wedge, for me the sentiment, well, maybe it's not negative because I can clearly see few bullish factors here, but they don't convince me to open the position. But still, I see them, I can consider them, but they don't force me, then they don't drive me to open a long position, right? So generally I'm a bear here, but in the same time I can see some positive sentiment here, so I'm not gonna open any position. Euro to New Zealand dollar, we told you about the possibility of a downswing yesterday. The price technically went higher, tested the recent support as a resistance and went lower, and today we are lower than we were yesterday, and the party goes on, the signal is on. The price should decline deeper on euro to New Zealand dollar. On British pound to American dollar, yesterday I marked the possibility of a breakout from this wedge. The breakout happened, but it wasn't actually what I was expecting. I was expecting a bigger movement, and we got movement for 40 pips, which is nothing. But again, I didn't tell you to open short positions here, but wait for a breakout from this support. And what is the support? The support is a trend line, the lower line of the symmetric triangle, right? So even that they broke this wedge formation, they still had a lower line of the symmetric triangle ahead of them, and it worked as a support. Well, it worked as a support for now. We will see how the situation will develop later. For now, I wouldn't go short here because the support works. Short after the breakout is still on the table. That's a possible setup. I don't say no. But with this bounce, chances for an upswing increased. Maybe not vastly, but increased. American dollar to Canadian dollar. Positive sentiment faded a little bit. Now we do have a neutral. We are in a neutral area. Here is the closest resistance, here is the closest support, and actually we are locked in 200 pips movement. For next attractions we have to wait with a breakout here or here. So for now it's also a sideways trend. It's an opportunity for the breakout traders, but they have to be patient. Dollar, we saw a weaker dollar. It's also reflected on the price of silver. As you can see here, also the volatility unfortunately dropped. So we're just waiting for attractions. What do we have here is a sideways trend. We're gonna either break the upper line or lower line here, triggering a midterm signal. Well, according to the theory, breakout with a trend is always more probable, so we should expect a breakout of the upper line of this formation. On gold is also positive. As you can see, we're climbing higher. We're very close to the weekly highs. If we'll make weekly highs, which will be here, we will be very close to the highs from last week and from 2 weeks ago. That shouldn't be a problem for them to climb $4 higher. Actually, we can see that dollar is losing right now, so I'm wondering what Mr. Mnuchin is telling during his speech. Let me show you on Twitter. I'm looking for highlights. Okay, he said that markets reflect confidence in US economy. Obviously, he's using upswings on stocks for political reasons, right? He said that they mostly focus on middle class tax cut. High income tax cuts should be offset. But obviously he also said too early to give details. Okay. Looking closely at border adjustment tax. 4% GDP growth is achievable. Optimist. Okay. Oh, that's basically it. From his latest speech. Mr. Mnuchin declines to comment on China FX. He's looking forward to meetings with Yellen. He said that we'll probably have low rates for a long period. In the meantime, Mr. Novotny from ECB said that there's no need to change rates this year. Okay, and so far that's information I can provide you from the speech from Mr. Mnuchin. As you can see, it's a dovish comments for American dollar. American dollar is losing, which is helping obviously silver, gold, cable, euro dollar, Australian dollar to American dollar. Well, I think that the situation on silver and gold is more or less clear for you. And now let's go further. Australian dollar to American dollar. That correction was a bit deeper, right? So I don't want to say that that was the last one, but well, we will see. We keep those 70 pips corrections on the table right now, and we will see if maybe we'll get another one. So far so good, right? The price advancing higher. Obviously they are on a very important resistance, and most probably they will stay on this stay below this resistance this week, but we will see. Euro to Australian dollar, that shooting star, that hammer from the last week failed. The price advancing lower. They used the recent support as a resistance, so it's a typical downtrend. Canadian dollar to Japanese yen in the midterm, that was a perfect setup. There was a perfect wedge. Look at that downswing here. Here, flag wedge. Not really important how we perceive it. Horizontal resistance here, used as a horizontal support here, used as a resistance here. And with this price action, most probably we'll see a downswing here. Remember, we were long on this position. We opened position somewhere here, then we closed it somewhere here. So we used a big chunk of this upswing in our favor. Now we just have to wait for another reversal pattern here and maybe a bullish breakout after that. New Zealand dollar to American dollar. First they bounce from this resistance, then they fail to break this important support, so this support is strong. That is why we showed those two arrows. Sell when the price will bounce from the resistance here, and sell when the price will break this resistance here, this support here. So no sell signal here or here, right? Why is that? Because we knew that the support will be strong, and you have to be careful, and the price bounced from the support, creating a buying opportunity instead of selling opportunity. So we can delete those arrows now. One was used, one wasn't triggered. Another instrument is British pound to Swiss franc. Here I told you that there is a possibility for an upswing, right? But what we got yesterday, well, that this pair looks kind of the best from all those pairs with British pound. But what we got here yesterday is a shooting star that failed to, well, exactly they bounced on highs, on yearly highs, well, yearly from January and from February, right? So this looks like a sell signal here. Shooting star, another bounce, shooting star again. Let's see on some lower time frames. Well, yes, that is a decent sell occasion here, especially on higher time frames. New Zealand dollar to Japanese yen, bouncing from the neckline away from the horizontal support. As long as the price stays above those two lines, we cannot say that we can see a clear sell signal here. I think with the latest development, so with the latest upswing here, the sell signal is delayed. But it's not completely denied. But for the sell signal, we have to wait for a movement, for a downswing here. Australian dollar to Canadian dollar. Yesterday, after the breakout of this horizontal resistance here, we had a test, as price almost always do, right? So broken resistance becomes a support, broken support becomes a resistance. Here, broken resistance becomes a support once, then twice, and we have a bounce. So, well, we can see that this area is under the pressure. We don't see a huge demand here, right? We can see some demand. And with positions on the market, I would like to enter only kind of sure bets. Obviously, keeping in mind that there are no sure bets on the market, but trying to find positions at least that look like those sure bets. Euro to Norwegian krone is doing what it's supposed to do. Again, broken resistance becomes a support, broken support becomes a resistance. That was a support, after breakout it became a resistance. That was a support, after the breakout became a resistance, right? So here's beautiful example, beautiful display of this, the most important one of the most important price action principles, so that broken support becomes resistance, right? And signal here is bearish. Even it is bearish, stays bearish even when we consider that we are in a drop for the whole year, right? The drop started when it started in January 2016. Still, the sentiment is negative. Okay, I'm gonna change to my account where I will show you oil. Our view on oil was bearish yesterday, which we highlighted here, but they didn't go to the lower line of the symmetric triangle. They declined here, and from this position they bounced. Why we highlighted the possibility of a downswing? Because we thought that there's a false breakout here. Also, they bounced from a horizontal resistance, so horizontal resistance plus a false breakout, that equaled downswing for us. You can see that the price is advancing higher now, also due to the weaker dollar. The price is advancing higher. For oil, we have to wait for EIA data today, which will be influential on oil, and we'll see if we will be able to set a direction here. And DAX, where the party goes on, obviously. Look at that. Yesterday we opened higher, we closed the gap, we went higher again, and now we are just in a tight range here. So we are seeing is a potential correction quality movement, testing also a trend line. It would be very nice to see the price here. Our properties, maybe blue will be visible definitely. It will be nice to see the price here. If we will see a reversal pattern here, even I would consider going long on indexes. Well, at the very beginning of the webinar, I told you that I don't know who's buying, that it's a bubble, etc., etc. Okay, fair enough. But again, you're traders, and your aim is to earn money on those movements, right? So if there is a party on stocks, you want to go midterm, and you want to go with stop loss, you don't care if that's a bubble or not. If you're an investor and you don't have stop losses and you're going long term, you should care, right? Because when you will enter the bubble on top, you can be wiped out from the market. But if you're traders and you're looking for midterm movements, you just go with the flow. You just go what the price is telling you, what the price is doing. And now on the indexes, the price is advancing higher. Obviously, it's uncomfortable to open positions when the price is making higher highs and higher highs. So that is why in the uptrends, I prefer to open when the price is making higher lows. So I'm preferring to enter the market after the correction. Well, where I'm anticipating that the correction will end, or I can see some signals that the correction is just ending right now. And that will be one of those places. But obviously I have to see the price reaction on those levels. I won't take it for granted. I won't take it just because it looks nice. I need to see how the price reacts on this level. So I'm marking a possibility of a nice trade on DAX, but obviously we still have to wait for this situation to develop. Let's see what's going on the markets, on the currencies. As you can see, Mr. Mnuchin is not delivering any good information for American dollar, so that is why American dollar is weaker. We do have a pound going up, we do have a euro dollar going up, we do have a silver and gold. Gold just made a weekly highs, as we can see, to the highs from the last week. They need $3.50. It's doable for sure. We have weekly highs on Australian dollar to American dollar. Also interesting situation, and we'll see how the demand will react on this resistance. Most probably we will have a kind of retracement here. There will be an initial reaction, initial bounce from this level, but we will see how the situation will develop after that. Unfortunately, this week is not delivering us any significant setups, any good situations. It was much better last week when you had a lot of trading setups. This week is more calm, easy, but it's due to the calendar, which calendar, as you know, is empty. But maybe, well, I'm telling you like it was the end of the week, but we still have tomorrow, when we still have the second half of the day today, so maybe we'll get some interesting market movers and good influential data and influential events. For now, it's all. Remember that trading and investment in financial markets involves an element of risk, and it would be really great if you could follow us on Twitter and our website alpari.news. Thanks very much for watching Daily Analytical Report. Remember also that in half an hour we'll have a webinar about technical analysis, and I hope to see you all there. Thanks very much.